In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Jah Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Jah Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Jah Oil also targets to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.
Welcome back. It's coffee time with Peter Gomez live on West Coast Radio 92.1 on FM. And Tombong has just sent us a message that we are not online. And I can see that from the studio here. Must be something with the internet connection. With me now is Honorable Dr. Ismaila Ceesay. He's the Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. Welcome back to your Tuesday slot. Last week we brought you forward to Monday.
Yes.
Because we were making room for Al-Haji Imam Babali. Yeah, and he had a very good program by all indications.
Thank you. Good morning, Peter.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak to you.
I hope you saw the moon.
I didn't see it, but I've heard that others have seen it.
Well,
and
normally people who say they didn't see the moon are also admitting that they haven't started fasting.
I've started fasting. You don't need to see it. Once the other Muslims say they've seen it, you should fast. You can fast.
Fantastic.
And tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. Blessed Ash Wednesday in advance.
Thank you.
Also wishing you a very blissful Lenten season.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So Ramadan and Lent will be running in parallel.
Yes.
Which is good.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've been crossing paths all these past years, and we thank God for that, because it helps us remind one another that we are all from the same one God.
Of course.
It's like leaving here to go to Banjul. You could take the Kotu, what's this thing called again? Bertil Harding Highway?
No, it's called the OIC Highway now. It's been renamed last week.
Oh, really?
Yes, by His Excellency the President when he was inaugurating it at the airport junction.
OIC Highway.
It's renamed OIC Highway.
I'm just knowing that today. Thank you very much for breaking that news to me.
Yes.
Why do we have to rename it OIC?
Well, that's the President's decision.
Yeah, okay.
It was announced. Bertil Harding is
the President's
do you know who
decisions are
Bertil
never,
Harding is?
The President's decisions are never contested.
Never questioned.
Never questioned.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Do you know who Bertil Harding is?
No, you have to tell me.
A Swedish tour operator. The first to bring Swedish tourists to the Gambia in the 60s.
Exactly. And give us a sector that is benefiting us every day.
Give us a sector? No, he came to be part of the ecosystem of that sector. He was a beneficiary of that sector. He didn't give us the sector. We built the sector. Our strategic location makes that sector, makes it part of our identity as a country. He did not give us the sector.
Okay. All right. Well, if you say so. Is the internet under you, or is it the Minister of Digital Economy?
It's under the Minister of Digital Economy.
Okay. Then we'll save that for him, because we're having issues with India. Keep saying connecting. Tombong, you're absolutely right. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes. Over the week, when certain things are forwarded to me, I just forward them to you. We are back to the Gambia still mired in this scandal involving illegal trade in wood?
I'll start on a good tone. I think I'll respond to that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'd like to thank the government of the Gambia and commend the Ministry of Justice for being very accommodating. You've seen that Dr. Eben Chambers was in town last week to engage with various stakeholders insofar as the draft constitution is concerned. Now, this is in line with government's attempt to accommodate and have further consultations with stakeholders. Government is committed to ensuring that this constitution is passed so we can have a total break from the past called rupture. Now, for this rupture to happen, this constitution and government is committed. That is why government is doing anything within its powers, being accommodating, allowing further consultations, bringing in international idea to lead those consultations to ensure it is passed so that we have at least a near consensus. I mean, constitution, everybody cannot be satisfied with it, but at least if there is a near consensus, at least we can have a constitution and a new constitution. So I think this is a very good move and a good foresight and leadership from the side of the government to the Ministry of Justice to ensure that we extend the consultations so that everybody is on board so that we have a new constitution. I think this is something that we need to share with the public.
Okay, and how far would you say he has advanced the process?
Well, I think it's good. They've had consultative meetings. It's advanced now. I think what I heard is that other critical stakeholders have been asked to submit some of the issues that they want to bring forward in the draft or that they think they might find problematic. So that there'll be further negotiations. I think there'll be a meeting sometime in a couple of months where all stakeholders now will meet to go through everything again so that we can find a near consensus. But I think the talks have been very progressive.
The UDP...
And the response from the other stakeholders have also been very good.
The UDP has just, sent out an invite. You're cordially invited to a press conference hosted by His Excellency A.N.M. Usainu Dabo, Party Leader and Secretary General of the United Democratic Party, UDP, on matters of national interest, Tuesday, 4th March, 1 p.m. prompt, venue, Manjai Kunda. What is certain is he's going to be addressing this constitution issue, and his position remains solid, that 2020 or nothing else.
But, I mean, the 2024 is a 2020 draft. It's just a few amendments on it. It's not like we've created a brand new constitution outside the 2020 constitution. No. If that was the case, yes. But it's the same draft, 2020 draft, which had some few amendments. Now the idea is to sit and look at those amendments that you are not happy with, and we can negotiate. That is government's position, just to ensure that we accommodate so that this thing is passed. I think His Excellency A.N.M. Usainu Dabo is a patriot. He's fought for this country. I would not see any reason why he would derail such an important national project. We hope that he would take part in the discussions, and we hope he is taking part in the discussions. He is, and we commend him for that.
He's even sat with your boss.
Exactly, that shows leadership as well. So obviously, we commend him for that. I don't think he has any intention to derail this very national project. I think, yes, like you said, we all have the same destination in mind. The way how we reach there can be a contention, but like these contentions are manageable and we can always negotiate. That is the power of politics. Politics is about negotiation. How do we meet and sit and negotiate? Because obviously every citizen is different. We all have different needs, different wants, different the way we see things. But when we sit and negotiate and discuss, we will find common ground on national issues. So we don't have any issue with them having a press conference. But at the end of the day, what is important, there will be consensus in going forward in passing this constitution.
And how do you respond to people who insist the negotiation should be over the 2020 rather than the 2024 draft? If people are asking opponents of the 2024 draft, to compromise, why not go back and actually compromise on this first document on which we spent in excess of $100 million?
But there's no point in reinventing the wheel. Look,
they would say the 2024 is the one trying to reinvent the wheel.
No, that was a draft, 2020 draft, based on wide-ranging national consultations. To the extent that the diaspora was even consulted.
Even you were consulted?
I was consulted. Yeah. Not only consulted, I went for consultations.
Yeah, exactly. Very good.
It was taken to Parliament. Mm-hmm. It was thrown out. You cannot take the same document back to Parliament. It doesn't make sense. Now, we as a government, based on His Excellency's leadership and foresight, said,
and when it was thrown out, you blamed President Barrow.
Who blamed President Barrow?
You did.
Why did I blame President Barrow?
Well, a lot of people.
If you bring me the audio, why
he
specifically blame President
he was
Barrow?
not here. People said,
people can say anything, but that is not. But that is not important. What is important is whether I blame myself or you or anybody. Is not the issue. What is important is that a draft was taken to Parliament. Mm-hmm. It was rejected. You cannot take the same draft back to Parliament. It doesn't make sense. So as a government, we said, okay, let us, and we take lead in constitution building. The state, the government takes the lead because they take it to Parliament, to the Minister of Justice. Let's have amendments and try to resolve the issues. Then we had consultations.
But it's the same document that was thrown out that you are amending now.
No, based on consultations. Prior consultations in Abuja and in Banjul. I was in Abuja representing Citizens Alliance without a political. We went to Abuja. We had consultation. We came to Banjul. We had citizens. Based on the outcome of those consultations, that is what we use now to amend the 2020 drafts. That is what we took back to Parliament. So it's not like it's a new. I was listening to some online media recently. They are saying that government brought a consultant to build a new constitution. That is false. There was no consultant.
A consultant possibly from South Africa.
So I heard Uganda. I don't even know.
The same charge will be made later on.
But that is not true. I am not aware of that. I have not seen that. What I know is that when the draft was sent out and rejected, government reconvened and tasked the Minister of Justice to initiate consultations to make sure that we do the amendments necessary to take it back. And the Minister of Justice just did that. With the support, in fact, Goodluck Jonathan was part of those negotiations. That is why he came and be part of it. He came to the Gambia. We went to Abuja. The outcome of those those discussions, those consultations, is what we used to amend the 2020 into the 2024. So it's not like it's a brand new constitution now. We are saying that we are still further being accommodating as a government just to get this passed. Because we need rupture. Say, okay, if you're not happy with this 2024, let us negotiate. It's politics. It doesn't end there. It's not like if we take it to Parliament, that's it, it's going to pass. No. But that is why we are now extending the period to have further consultations and negotiations to make sure that we pass the constitution. That's how easy it is. But you don't expect us to bring back the rejected draft. It doesn't make sense. It's rejected. It's been thrown out.
Okay. Let's talk about, this log issue that I had wanted the conversation to begin on.
Well, actually, I've seen the...
Because there's a big article
about
the Gambia continuing to violate.
I've read the article, but like I said, and I've engaged with government, the relevant sector minister, she's not aware of such activities. And we as a government are not aware of such activities. As far as we are concerned, as a government, the ban is still in place. Now, if there are lapses in enforcement, I don't know whether it is the issue, but as far as we are concerned, the ban is still in place and it must be enforced. That is what we know. Now, this story is saying this. I think this now I think it's for now the police to be more extra vigilant and do their investigation to see whether it is still going on. But we are not aware of it as a government.
In a world where progress never sleeps, one company stands out as the driving force behind infrastructure and energy solutions. Introducing our fuel company and cement producer, where excellence meets efficiency. Jah Oil. The company have 30 filling stations across the country that are all operating, which includes the recently completed Yarambamba and Old Yundum filling stations. And our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Along the years, Jah Oil introduces importation and distribution of cement in their line of business to diversify and strengthen their operations. Are you a cement retailer? At the moment, Jah Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market. With a focus on sustainability and innovation, we are paving the way for a greener, stronger future. Trust in us to fuel your projects and lay the groundwork for success. We currently produce over 25,200,000 bags per year. As the largest cement producer in the country, Jah Oil also target to export cement to the neighboring countries like Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, and others. Join us on our journey to shape a world where every drop of fuel and every bag of cement makes a difference. Together, we can build a brighter tomorrow.
One of the headlines, spoke about a minister, insulting someone on camera, and here's a contribution.
A minister?
Sorry, a police officer.
Yes.
Police officer, sorry. Good morning, Mr. Peter. It is a great concern to see such police officers in national uniform uttering insults in government institutes. What a shame. IGP, what is your say in this? I mean, do you know? You know about this?
I saw a video. I think, Peter.
Yeah.
All police forces have such challenges sometimes that you have officers that can exhibit traits of. It could be indiscipline. It could be ethical activities that are outside the remit of the police. Even in the US, recently, we've seen police officers who attack black people and kill them. I think there was an issue with the police. What's this guy's name? He became very popular at some point, the black man who was killed by a white police officer in the US.
Is it George?
I can't remember.
Floyd?
Exactly. So,
Floyd.
I mean, the police in the US never told that police officer to kill anybody. But like these things happen, and the police has mechanisms in place to rectify such action. That is why now the police has referred the matter to the disciplinary committee of the police to investigate. And if he is found to act outside the framework of what is acceptable by the Gambia police force, he will really face the consequences. So these things happen. You cannot avoid them, but as long as you have mechanisms to make sure that you put them in check and to deter further occurrences. Now, what this shows is that for me, it's a lesson. When I saw it, this is a lesson for me. I was being posited that now who polices the police. Now the public polices the police through social media. Now the police officers now, or any other officer or public servant who is serving the public out anywhere, you'll be now extra cautious in your behavior because you'll know that the public is watching you through social media, that now gone at this when you can do things and then you put it under the carpet. So this is good for in terms of going forward. It shows now that there is someone who can now police the police. Well,
The public is policing everybody. Good morning, Uncle Peter. Dr. Ceesay, did he provide the number of personnel who went to the UN General Assembly? In one of your discussions with him, you precisely told him that it has taken over 3 months.
This always escapes me, Peter. I promise. Next Tuesday, I'll bring it.
No, I
totally forgot. You need to remind me, Peter. It's not intentional. I totally forgot to really inquire. But I'll find out.
I know what I'll do. I'll talk to Mod Ceesay.
Maybe he can provide that for you.
No, I'll tell him to remind you, to give you the.
No, I will definitely want to bring that.
Yeah, because it keeps.
It's been a perennial question.
But despite the fact that Nigeria as a country has helped the Gambia like no other since her independence in 1965, why are Nigerians in the Gambia paying higher residential permit than other West Africans like Sierra Leoneans, Senegalese, Guinea-Bissau, and Guinea-Conakry? From Comrade IB Anusionwu. I hope I'm calling that name.
I can't respond to that because I don't know the price of residential.
Your colleague, spoke about how Nigeria is helping with our TVET strategy by providing, lecturers for the UTG. You know that very well.
That's a
lecturers
technical aid corps is on since in the 80s. The Nigerians have been supporting Gambia with technical support.
Yeah. So why are we subjecting their nationals here to hire, residence
like
permit
I said, I don't know the
payments?
price of resident permits. I can't respond to that. I don't know how much they pay. I don't know how much others pay. But that's a decision that's a decision at a different level. But I don't. To be honest, I can't respond to that because I don't know how much they are paying.
Okay. What really doesn't make sense is to initiate amendments to a thrown-out constitution without consulting the parties who really matter.
I think is he listening? I said there was consultations when it was rejected. There were consultations in Abuja and in Banjul. One of them was led by Goodluck Jonathan. So there were consultations. This has to be clear. The government did not just wake up in the morning and did amendment unilaterally. We had consultations, and based on the outcome of those consultations is what led to the amendments. I think this has to be clear.
Okay. Celestine Kujabi, I asked the minister who rejected the 2020 draft constitution. The people consulted in the drafting or a few opportunist politicians? Who should reject it with your political theory? A referendum or a few members who constitute less than 40% of the voter population?
There are clearly procedures in constitution building. It says that it has to go through first reading, it has to go through second reading, and it can be by parliament. The constitution gives parliament the power to reject constitutions, just like how it gives the public the power to also reject or accept in a referendum. So, I mean, you cannot blame anyone for that. The law is the law. That's what the law says. It has to go through a process. It has to go to the parliament. Parliament is those in are represented. They represent people there. The 53 constituencies that have been elected by the people represent their constituencies. So it depends on the kind of representation they have. You know, there are different representation. They have mandate. They have delegate. Some go to parliament. Some countries, in terms of their representation, the model of representation is called the mandate. The mandate means the party. You cannot go against the party line, and defections are rare. When the party campaign on an agenda in their manifesto and say, if we come to power, we are going to raise taxes, and that is taken to parliament, for example, the lawmaker representing that party should vote based on the party line, and that's why that's what they call a chief whip, who holds whip and ensures that everybody falls in line on the party. And that's what they call the delegate. Delegate representation is that you don't go with clear instructions. You don't go with clear instructions. You go and think, because we think that the theory, a political theory, that those who are educated should go and represent because they are altruistic and they know what others want. So they go represent you and they speak on your behalf. And whenever there's a question to vote on, they don't have to go back and consult you. They can vote based on the way they think is in your best interest. There are other models where you go with clear instructions. You don't deviate from that. I tell you, go and vote this way. Your constituency, before the vote takes place, you go back to your constituency and they give you clear instructions. Hey, on this issue, we want you to vote this way.
Yeah, we heard some, MP claim that they supported, decriminalizing FGM because that's what their constituents want them to do.
What does the party say then? There are different models of representation where you go with clear instructions, where you are elected based on your education and your experience, that you know what your people want and you vote based on that. There are also others which is based on the party model. That is, you go there, that is the mandate. You have a mandate as a party to govern and you vote based on that. But by and large, Peter, just to close, the government of His Excellency President Barrow has taken significant strides to transform this country in every aspect, from promoting and consolidating our democracy by ensuring there's transparency and accountability, to making sure that our economy is growing. And I want to give you the numbers. When it comes to electricity, I've been talking about, we have expanded electricity. Yes. I want to give you the numbers.
Go ahead.
Peter, from before 2017,
yes,
only 195 meters were connected in this country from independence, even prior to that.
195
meters were connected in the 244 were connected in this country. Now, from 2017 to 2024, 203,000 meters for 346 were connected. This shows electricity expansion at its best, to the extent that we even reduced the price of buying a meter from $8,500 for meter connection fee to $500, in line with government's agenda to bring in universal
connection fee, or the
even the connection fee now is $500. It's been reduced from $8,500.
And the meter now costs what?
That's the meter now.
Only 500?
Yeah.
Only in select areas. It cannot be in Greater Banjul area.
I think mostly it's rural area, apart from rural electrification process. Yes.
$500.
So it's past part of the electrification process. We've brought that price down from $8,500 to $500 is for connection fees. Now, this all in
select areas of the country. That is not happening in the Greater Banjul area.
In rural areas, as far as we are concerned.
Let's make that very clear. Yes.
Now, not only that, in terms of roads, Peter. For paved roads, the government has, from 2017 to date, 910 kilometers of paved roads has been constructed by this government. But listen to this. From 1956 to 2016, only 800 kilometers of roads were constructed. And I repeat, from 56 to 2016, 800 kilometers of roads were constructed. But from 2016-17 to date, we've constructed so far 910 kilometers of roads. That's a huge increment in terms of paved roads in this country. And look, let's look at 2017 to date. We've built 6,440 classrooms and renovated 2,007. 424 new schools were constructed in 2017. Scholarship, UTG currently students, 2,386 students are receiving scholarships, and for TVET, 571. Now let's look at water in terms of expanding water to rural communities. In 2024, the government has significantly expanded access to potable water, impacting 78,000 lives across rural communities. And I'll tell you this, 283 households were served with water. In terms of borehole expansion, from 1990 to 2016, only 186 boreholes were built. From 2017 to date, we have built 145 boreholes. It's a serious, significant expansion of access to water in this country. So by and large, Pete, and these are just examples of numbers to what we've been saying when we say access to electricity. And by the end of 2020, and in fact, when you come to electricity, and it's very interesting, what we have here in terms of access to electricity. We want to ensure that by the end of this year, we achieve universal access to electricity. And this is our
what
target.
does universal access mean? Meaning every
community.
home in the country.
Well, that will be far-fetched to say every home,
okay.
But at least every community will have access. Now, it depends on you whether you want to get electricity or not. But what we know is that we'll lay the infrastructure to ensure that every community, every area can have access. So it depends on you now whether you can
afford it or not.
You can afford it or not. But this is the target of the government, and we are working towards that with partners, and we are definite. Sure.
Partners, when aid, I mean, international aid is, depleting everywhere and being frozen.
Well, that's not bad news. Not bad news, Peter. I mean,
so when you say partners, you mean internal partners, GRA.
No, but even
GRA in the main.
It's a very external part. You see, when we say partners, we don't mean always within the context of aid. It's within the context of investment as well. Now, we all know that aid, as we used to know it before, this is the end of it. Countries now have to reset. Countries have to recalibrate and come up with new ways, innovative ideas to move towards investment. And that is what the Gambia government is doing. There is no better society that can attract investment than a peaceful, stable society where there is certainty, where there are good laws that fight corruption, where there are good laws that ensure that investor confidence is guaranteed. That is Gambia today. Within the entire sub-region today, Gambia is an attractive destination for tourism, trade and investment. So when I say partners, I mean also investment partners and not only aid partners.
Okay, fantastic. Well, listen, in impressive, achievements on the part of the government, and we hope that, we'll get more in the remaining 1 year.
Well,
one year, 9 months of Barrow, because
of course,
a lot of people say he shouldn't stand for election next year.
Well, nobody can stop that. Like I said, I'm going to repeat it. President Barrow will contest the elections and he will win, and there is no doubt about that. He remains very popular, in fact, the most popular politician in the country currently as we speak, and he's delivering, and the people are happy with what he's doing, and his vision and his foresight are exemplary, and the people are happy with him, and he will win the elections. That is a foregone conclusion. Now, what is important is that, Peter, what I've just mentioned here, I didn't even mention other sectors, like the social sector.
We can do that next week.
Yeah, Women Development Fund, the agricultural sector, other sectors, even healthcare, I haven't even touched it. This is just...
Healthcare, that may be a slippery road for you,
It is not.
But next week.
Thank you.
We've run out of time. Ismaila, thank you so very much. Dr. Ismaila Ceesay is the Minister of Information, Information, Media and Broadcasting Services. And this is Coffee Time with Peter Gomez, live on West Coast Radio, also on YouTube, courtesy of partners, Jah Oil, of course.